Hey guys, Kev here, and it's rapid review time. I got 5 fidgets. Let's talk about them. So, I'm not sure if maybe I reviewed this one and that one, but I don't think so. I think I unboxed all this stuff and hadn't reviewed it. I forget stuff sometimes, and I didn't feel like going through the videos, and I can talk about them, so why not? So let's start off with the donut here. I actually got this a couple weeks ago, and I absolutely love this thing. It's probably my favorite haptic coin. These two are kind of like, I don't know, it's close, but the feel on this one, the haptic feel of this one is the best. The sound and feel on this one is the best. So it's kind of like a what you want in the moment thing. Now I will say, after I unbox this, if you watch that video, which I'll link probably here, it'll probably pop up at some point. I wasn't like over the moon about it in the unboxing, but like that night, of course, I'm fucking around with it, and I fell in love, right? And the reason for that is let me see if I can show you. Try to do the little trick. If you're ever wondering how to open a haptic coin easier, you just kind of turn it so it's in between magnets, and then you can open it. So the thing about this that's different than other haptic coins, such as this one, is usually there's the needle bearings, and then there's like 6, 5, whatever magnets around. It's usually 5 or 6, and then there's a central pivot magnet. That magnet actually comes out, but it basically operates as a pivot, and that's what, you know, helps you with the function. Now, having 5 magnets in here makes it to where it's pretty easy to rotate this guy, right? Well, this one has 7 on one side and 6 on the other, and then it has sort of a skateboard bearing or whatever here instead of one of those central just regular magnets, because it has a hole that's supposed to look like a donut, right? This is in polished Zirc, by the way. And what that does is it gives you a little bit of a different feel because of that bearing in there. And then secondly, it's the 7 and 6 combination that makes it a little bit harder to rotate. Now, it's not hard, just a little bit harder, right? It's hard to explain. Like this rotates real easy. This is just a little bit more effort. It's not like bad or anything, it's just different. And they didn't do 7 and 7 because they thought it would be a little too strong then. So it was kind of like trying to find the balance. But they do tell you you could glue in a 7th one. They don't give it to you though. But what it does is it gives you this really strong, for a haptic coin, really strong feedback. So when those magnets jump, it just gives you more feedback because there's 7 of them versus 5 or 6, right? And in my unboxing, I'm an idiot, and I said, well, there's one missing, so when I rotate it, is there going to be one click where it doesn't work? I know I'm dumb, guys. It's hitting all of them at once, so it's literally just, yeah, anyway. So it just has this amazing feel, and it has a vibration to it. And when you give it like multiple clicks, it just feels amazing. It's hard to explain how good it is. But anyway, that night I got it and I fell in love, and I instantly knew I needed the matte Zirc one because this polished Zirc is awesome looking. I mean, look at it. It's definitely the better looking one. But because it's polished Zirc, it's slicker when you get sweaty, and I'm a sweaty dude. My hands are anyway. So it'll get to a point sometimes where I can't even use it because I'm like just sliding around on it. And you'll hear that come up later again. But so I ordered the matte Zirc one because I just think I'm going to be able to operate it a little bit better. It'll kind of be finished like this. It's still a little grippier. So I'm hoping that one's even better than this, which is amazing. So once I get that, depending on how I like it, whatever, this one may be up for sale. We'll see. And the prices are pretty good on these. This one I actually paid $180 through EDC Long. And it took like a month to get here. And then I found them on my favorite dealer website, Big White EDC. Big White EDC. It's down in my links all the time. And he has them for way less. So this one in polished Zirc is $139. And the matte Zirc is $129. So you can go get it there as long as they're still available, obviously. Also, I want to mention I did get a code for another website. It's called Fidget Things. And Fidget Things is the guy who does these chill pills. They're like the two capsule things that go together. They look like a pill that you can rotate around. They're one of the best fidgets you can get. Highly recommend them. He also makes the tactile slider. I have the Zirc one. It's loaned out right now. He also makes the coin fig, which is a coin kind of like this. And then you can have different configurations inside. It can be like a track. It can be like a haptic coin, different things. That one wasn't for me, but he has all those. And you can get those 10% off with my code, LeftyEDC. Also, it'll be down in my links. But yeah, the donut is amazing. You can also put this on a cord or a necklace or paracord or whatever. Wear it around your neck, hang it off your bag. I don't know. You can do whatever with it and always have it around, you know. It's an amazing fidget toy. It instantly probably became my favorite coin type, you know, coin type fidget. But the next one here is right up there, and it's always a back and forth game for me. It's like whichever one I'm carrying is the best one, you know. And this one's a matte Zirc ACedc Nano milk lid. It's got that limited 2022 logo on it. This was $140, I think. And then they had one without the logo, just blank, but it was still the same Zirc, and that was like $109 or $120. I think both are sold out on Big White EDC, but you can get them at some other places like the AliExpress stores, Inniswork store on AliExpress. If you know, you know. If you don't, hit me up. And you can see here, I ding this guy up. I was helping my brother move, and I brought this because, I don't know, I just feel like the coins are very safe for walking and fidgeting and stuff. Whereas something with, like, you know, multiple pieces can fall apart. These, you know, I've never had them fall apart on me. But I dropped it like an idiot, and I dinged up. And it was a lot worse when it happened. You could see it was almost like white in those areas. But the more I've used it, it's kind of just like tumbled it back in or whatever. It's still, you know, you can see the dings, but now it's like a war wound. I kind of like it. Very small. So again, it's called the Nano milk lid. There's the donut, which the donut is a good size, I'd say. I don't know what you guys would have to compare it to. Like, here's the EMP EDC Rock'em, I think it's called. Here's the Shire Post pizza thingy. Here is a Native 5 in fluted carbon fiber. I don't know if any of that helps you guys. The Baby Barlow from Urban EDC Supply. So it's really small, guys. My palm. All right. And that's also what I love about it. It's like when I'm trying to carry something lightweight or something that I can tuck away or wherever, this is the one I go for because it's super light, pops right into a fifth pocket, back pocket, wherever, and you don't even notice it, right? And then when you need something to fidget with, boom, you have it. You know, some of these things are a little bit bigger and, and they're heavier. You don't want to carry that in your pocket all the time. This is one you could have in your pocket all the time and never even notice. It's awesome. And it makes really loud sounds. It's not my loudest coin. I'd say the ACedc gamer one, the one that's like purple haze fat carbon, is louder. Here's the donut. You can see my hands are already slipping off of it. But it's a lot louder in my opinion. Just sounds snappier. But that one has better haptics. So it's kind of a trade-off. This one's good, haptic-wise. It's still one of my favorite fidgets. Absolutely love it. Just love the small size. I love the milk lids because of the rim. It just makes it so much easier to know where to click. This is going to sound dumb, but like for beginners, if it's like your first fidget coin, I would definitely recommend a milk lid with a rim like this because it just makes it a lot easier to learn how to grip the side and just be gentle with it, so to speak. Where something rounded like this can take a little bit of time because your instinct is just to do it anywhere, and I don't know. So, fantastic, awesome. Then we have the mini dealer. So this is a Laudi product. It's a collaboration with the Hatedust project, which you guys may know I really like. Their logo is a pig. And the Hatedust project is basically a 501c. I think it's a charity. They do these projects and they give the profits, I think, all the profits to different charities. So maybe not. Maybe they keep some of the money and they give some. I don't know. But it's really cool. They do these projects and they're giving some of the money to a good cause. So I appreciate it. Do good. This was $180. I'm going to show you the inside. So you have this copper ring. And I thought this was just stainless steel and this copper ring. But there's actually zirconium. So that's Zirc. This comes off. That's Zirc, I believe. Same with in there. And then this is Zirc. And the reason I figured that out is because if you look in here, it literally says stainless steel and Zirc. So it's gotta be Zirc, right? And I was like, what is ZIR? ZI. And I'm like, that's not the name for Zirc, but in China, I guess they just call it ZI. It's also on here. God damn, focus. ZI. Is it just a light or is it me? ZI and Co for copper. That's the one where I was like, Co? But it stands for copper, right? Anyway, that's a Laudi product too, so you can see how they mark their stuff. So anyway, that comes off. This is just a back plate, and this is a front plate. So yeah, you could put this together, I guess, but it's not going to do anything for you. You're just going to have this. It'd be cool if it did something, but it doesn't. It'd be cool if you could take it off and use it as a like finger spinner or something. You could kind of do that, but my fingers maybe are just too big or something. But that's it. It has one function, right? It is a spinner. You put that on. You put this on. Then you spin the center in. Tighten it down. And then, boom, Bob's your uncle. You got a spinner. And you got to hold it like this. If you hold it at the side, it's not going to spin because you can obviously see here what's spinning. It has these cool little detent balls or whatever on top. And it'll spin a good long while. I mean, at least what I've noticed for these fidgets, it spins pretty well. Like I have that other one from Black Mirror that looks like a bolt. And they spin roughly the same amount. I'm gonna grab another drink while you guys watch paint dry. My wife got me this cool little fridge for up in my studio, which is sick. Got the blood orange tangerine spinner. So you can see it spins for a while. Jesus. A little too long, maybe. I'm always thinking it doesn't spin long enough, but look at this. I almost want to stop it because I don't want to bore you guys, but You guys know me. I commit, baby. Have you checked out the Baby Barlow from Urban EDC Supply? Highly recommend this knife. It is fantastic. If you can get one on the secondary, I think they're all sold out now. I had two. I sold one though to my buddy Ev. I didn't need two, and I needed some cash. I think we're coming to an end here. Yeah, it's a really cool product. It just doesn't do more than spin. So I did order two more spinner type things. Well, three, but one of them is like sort of a combo. I ordered the Sam spinner from Laudi, which is basically this, except it's more traditional spinner style. It doesn't have that back plate. It's just a spinner in the center. Come on. I want to pick it up to demonstrate. We're almost there. Alright, that was pretty damn good, right? Alright, so the Sam is like this, but just pretend this whole side spun and you held this center. Like this part spun and everything, right? That's how that works. And then you can pop it out and use it as a ring spinner too. And then I ordered the start button one that spins and then it's a clicker. So I thought those are pretty cool. And then I got one called the 3B that apparently is a haptic coin and a spinner. I don't know. We'll find out when they get here. But this is fun to spin like this. It's quiet is the key to this one. For me, the spinners are all about the quietness because the ones I really like are loud, honestly. I like that they're loud. That's part of the satisfaction for me. So when I need to be quiet, I like this guy. It's not as carryable, EDC-able as a lot of the other ones, especially on this list, because it's got a little weight to it. It's a little bit bigger, right? Like here's the two coins we just looked at, right? It's just gonna be a little bit bigger, so it's not as pocket friendly, but yeah, and it's heavier, but it's not like too heavy. Next up, we have a couple Compoform items I recently got. Compoform is by far my favorite fidget brand at the moment. Ivan Gostov is kind of like the Ferrari of the fidget world. I say that all the time. His designs are just refined, gorgeous, and they're functional art. And that's Ferrari, right? Functional art, peak performance functional art, if you know what I mean. So they're not just great, they don't just work, they're the best, you know what I mean? This is called the Superbean V2, and from what I understand, the bean was a little sort of key tag thing that had like, pretend it was like one of these little pieces, and it stopped like here, and it just went 1, 2, like back and forth, something like that, right? Well, that has sort of grown into this. He invented the click bar, which comes in a 1x6, which is like, just, you see this. This has 4, right? 1, 2, 3. There would be a 4th one here. And I guess 1x6, it has 6 spots. So 1 wide, 6 tall. And I had one. I didn't love it. It was just a little too big, and I didn't love the materials. I think somebody with big hands would really like the 1x6. Then there's like a 2x4 or something like that, where it's side by side and it's up to 4 or whatever. This, I guess, would be a 1x4. I don't know if you would call it a 1x3 because there's only 3 things, maybe. But this is the perfect size one for me. This is in titanium. And then there's a clicker on the back here. It's basically just a switch. Right? You pop this side, it's like a seesaw. And the magic of it is that they operate in unison. So it's fun to do this. Right? This is fun. You know, but this would get boring after a few minutes, right? It's nice and loud, though. Good feedback. You know, if you're just dicking around or whatever, this is great. But when you go to use the front part of it, every time you go from the top, you hear it, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. It clicks back and forth. And the feedback you get, the sounds you get, the satisfaction you get out of it, it just is amazing. And on top of that, you have the fun of the click bar, which I've learned. For me, the fun in it is to do one at a time up, like that, and then all three down, like that. So you get 1, 2, 3, and then bang. 1, 2, 3, bang. 1, 2, 3, bang. Right? Now you can go bang, 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 bang. That's fun too. You go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's not as fun to me. So I like to break it up and do 1, 2, 3, bang. Right? You get way more haptic feedback and click out of the full push with all three. Right? Versus one. You just don't get a ton of click out of one of these pieces. And I do wish that was different. But at the same time, it would be a little bit of a struggle because it would mean stronger magnets and then you would fatigue faster. And I think this has a great balance because you're just, you know, you're doing this and you're getting that satisfaction and then you get that big click and it's not wearing you out. I know that sounds weird to think about, but... And in the meantime, you're doing that, having all that fun. This thing is clicking back and forth at the same time. It literally is such a simple thing, yet it's an amazing idea. I love this thing. I didn't expect to, honestly. After having the click bar, I was kind of on the whole little piece slider thing. But... man, this is one of my favorites. And that happens to me with almost every Compa Form item I've had. It's incredible. One other thing I want to note is I would love to see a Superbean V3 that the ultimate EDC, in my opinion. If you had this setup and then right here you had a little OTF razor blade. Like, even if it was one of those micro scalpels or something, if you had a little razor blade that you could click out, first off, you get another little bit of fidget because you get the clicks, right? You get the slider razor thing. And then you had a little blade that came out. I just want it so it clicks out and I can open a package, cut out a shipping label. Like, nothing crazy. I just want it for, like, utility stuff, small utility stuff. Slice open a bag, whatever. Imagine that on your fidget toy like this. If we had that on here, this thing would be unstoppable. It really would be. Now, I don't know if he could fit it in with the internals, how everything's milled. It might have to be a little thicker. I would take that trade-off to get a little razor blade in there. Dude, it would be so cool. Even if it was just like a fold-out one or, you know, it doesn't have to be a slider or anything, but it would just be cool. I know it'd be hard to make it replaceable, but there's got to be a way to do it. So anyway, Ivan, you can have that idea for free. Just, you know, I'm just kidding. I love this. Superbean V2, guys. Highly recommend. Last, but absolutely not least, my favorite free-floating slider of all time. And guys, I'm like a couple months into this, so bear with me. But I've tried a handful of these free-floating type sliders, including 3D printed ones. I've tried a different Compa Form one. I've tried the tactile from Fidget Things, which is fantastic, by the way. I've tried a couple of Magnus sliders. I think I have some other ones on the way from Magnus, I'm hoping. I'll maybe be more for me. Can't remember if I tried anything else. I tried a couple of the armor slider things. The Wanwu, I think they are. So specifically talking about these free-floating ones, which means there's no track or anything. Like this is the Compa Form Argyle V1.1. This has a track and a post, and it keeps it in place, right? So you can spin it around and stuff because it's on that track. And then you have stuff like the CP3, which obviously, you know, there's two sides and they're on a track. Those don't count towards what I'm saying. This is the best. So out of the free-floating ones, this is absolutely hands down the best one. And the first one I had was the Argyle V2. So there's this, again, the V1.1. And this model kind of started it all. This is called the, originally it was called the Argyle V1. And then they did, you know, other stuff, whatever. And then they came back and did a V1.1. They just updated this a little bit, right? They hid the magnets and they changed the pattern and stuff. And in the meantime, they did a Argyle V2, which was this size, same exact size and everything, just had a different pattern. And instead of being one-sided, like you see how I can't use it on this side, right? Like it repels. The way they set that one up is the magnets stacked up and it could flip over on any side. You can watch my video on it. And that was called the V2 Argyle. The problem with that one, and it was the problem I had and some other people had, but some people love it and good for them. I'm happy. You could flip it over every which way and stuff, but that was because the magnets were weaker. And they kind of had to be to stack the way they stacked them to get it to work. So everybody was asking for a V2 with stronger magnets. So what he did was he came out with this. And this is called the Allure series. And a lot of people call it the V3. So if you hear Argyle V3, V3, if you hear Allure series, those are all the same thing. It's the same exact size and shape as the V2. It just doesn't flip over on both sides, and it has stronger magnets. And guys, is it good? It is utterly fantastic. It just, man. It ladders like nobody's business. If you watch my videos on the V2, when I do these ladders, where I flick, a ladder is where, in case you're new to fidgets, a ladder is where you go up like this, or down, whatever, and you start flicking it around like this. It basically ladders, you know, the fidget around, the plate. When you do that with the V2, for me, I would do this, and instead of going like that and bouncing back, it would just come off, right? Or when I'd go up like this, I'd go too far real easily because the magnets were weak. On this one, you get a lot more leeway, and it's stronger, and it feels, listen to this. Just so much snappier. To me, that feedback is just epic. That feel in hand, I could literally just do the half ladder down and then the slide. I could do that over and over and over and never get bored of it. I'm not good at the tricks, as you see. Like, can't really do any tricks. I just do the ladders, basically. You know, I try to do the around the world where I go up, right? And then you go around, and then guess what? You keep going around the world. Got it. Boom. But I can't do any, like, cool moves. Like, I see people laddering inside a lot. Like, they somehow get it to ladder in. I guess, there you go. I just can't do it as quickly or as fast. But maybe I'll learn. You can kind of do the trigger pull with this one. The trigger pull is a move that Pluke designed, or whatever came up with. You kind of do this. And he calls it the trigger pull because you're basically pulling a trigger kind of motion. That one's fun. And you can do that with the V1.1 too. But anyway, you can do cool stuff. It has the laser treated titanium on the plates. Now, I will say these are marking up a good bit more. My V1 has like 0 marks on the inside. And my coin here has like 0 marks. And I'm realizing that must be because they're not actually touching. Because of the ball or the post on the other one, it probably protects it from actually touching. right? Where this, the plates are actually touching, so it's going to beat it up more, I guess. I don't know. That's my theory. I also tend to drop these. You know, I've got a little nick there, you know. It's usually just hitting my desk or something, because even with the stronger magnets, you can still overdo it. You know what I mean? But it's absolutely fantastic. I love that it has the same pattern as my V1.1. This is black, and that's blue, obviously. But this has, like, black accents. I would have preferred a black one, probably, but, you know, I didn't have options. These are very limited. All his stuff is limited. So when you get the chance, just go for it. Don't, you know, beggars can't be choosers on these. Now, they are expensive. I'll talk about prices on all these in a second, because I don't think I did, but... I'm closing it on 30 minutes, so these are real rapid. This thing is fantastic, is the bottom line. It's the best free-floating slider you can get right now. I just did a trick. Look at that. You see that? I just flipped around like crazy. I love it. So, downside is just like the V1.1, when my hands get sweaty, this... whatever this finish is, yeah, it has a little bit of ridges in it, but it's also like a shiny polish finish. And it just gets so slick sometimes. I can barely use it at times. And I have to just put it away. Or I have to wipe my hands down like crazy, spray them with alcohol and whatever. Wipe this down and then start, you know. This is a little better, even when I'm sweaty, because I can kind of just get down here and push. And I don't know, they must be a little weaker in the magnets than this, or the motion's different. I don't know. But they both could get to where I'm like, it's kind of annoying, you know, and then I'll switch to something else. So that's a downside. I'd really like to not worry about that. It would take away from the finish and the look, but I'd love to see a matte version or something like that so that I can grip it better, personally. I know that's not an everybody problem, but it's a me problem, so I want to mention it. And then the price is, I think this was like $250, something like that. His items are relatively pricey. I think this was like $310. This was like $210. This is like $250-ish, something like that, in titanium, of course. This guy was around so maybe this one was $260 or something, and this one was $220, something like that, right? I ended up paying like $500 for both of these, essentially. So they're pricey, but if you just look at this compared to other fidgets, you'll see the value. Like, the way that you just can't even see the magnets, like, where are the magnets, guys? How did he seal them off? Like, all of that stuff, the finishing. I mean, look at it. The ridges go this way, they go that way on the other one. It's impeccable work. It's very impressive. The engraving on this one, like the edges, that laser treatment on the titanium. Again, I don't see seams. I don't see, like, it's just very impressive what he does. So I think the prices make sense. And then they're coming from Russia, and then they have to be sold. And then right now, because it's really hard to get the money back to him, there's all these fees, because they're getting hit with all these fees, because they're trying to find ways to pay him. So I have no problem paying it. Every time I get one, I happily send the money, and I'm like, yes, when's it going to get here? Like, I cannot be more ecstatic when I get a Compa Form item. So anyway, sorry for the rant and the raven. So I gave you the prices on these. This was $180. This was $180, but you can get it for $140. And this was like around $130, $140, something like that, I think. But they do range in stainless steel. They start at like $60 on big white EDC. If you use my code LeftyEDC, I think it could be LeftyEDC. Just check the description. You'll get 10% off. So you can literally get one of these for like $50 in steel. Same with that. It's like $70. The mini dealer is like $100, I think, if you get just a regular one. Actually, I don't know. And then these, there's no budget options or anything. They're just expensive, and you need to join the Facebook group. Highly recommend anybody who's into fidgets, you join the Compoform Facebook group, because it's the best stuff, and it's the only place to really get their stuff, unless you get lucky somewhere on the secondary. But I've never seen a Compoform item on a secondary post. They'll be for sale in the group, but not like in another group. You know what I mean? So that's a quick rundown of the Nano milk lid from ACedc, the ACedc Penguin Buckle / Donut 2.0, the mini dealer from Laudi and the Hatedust project, and then the Compoform Superbean V2 and the Allure series Illusion. That's the pattern on this, Illusion, and it's also the Argyle V3 essentially. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Sorry for ranting and raving so long. I love you all dearly. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic... Oh, and big shout out to a new channel, killing it, EDC Fidget. Always forget if it's Fidget EDC or EDC Fidget, but I'm pretty sure it's EDC Fidget. Go check it out. Melody is awesome. She started a new channel all about the fidgets. She's a madman like me. We were chatting today, and she was buying like 8 different fucking fidgets, and we are sending each other fidgets now, and it's crazy. And she's awesome. She's pumping videos out. Like, she's doing 2 a day sometimes. And if you're into this stuff, if you're watching my channel for the fidgets mostly, definitely go check that channel out. I think you'll really enjoy it. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.